Hi everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hi guys. Hello. So it is no surprise to you guys how much I love the Favori. It's one of my absolutely favorite brands from Sweetie Nail Supply. I just find that these inks, and this is a new collection, are such time savers. And you can use them in so many different ways. So this is the new Muse 2 collection. And they are so pretty. So pretty. Here, I'm going to put them down real quick. Let me pop you over. Let me get you live over here too so I can see in two places if you have any questions. And guys, I am Lauren. Oh, that's Deacon. I'm sorry about that. Happens from time to time here. Maybe there's some sort of package coming. We'll wait for him to be quiet for a second while I show you these. So, can you see those? You can use these water inks for plaids. You can use them for a color wash. You can use them for nuance. You can layer them. They are so versatile. And this collection is really beautiful colors. Not that you don't need them all, but they're really pretty. They're soft. Yes, they're inks. They are the Favori. This is one collection of inks. There are a lot of different Favori collections up on Sweetie Nail Supply, and they're all a little bit different. So we're going to play with these today. Okay? The easiest way to play with inks, honestly, is like just washing them right onto the nail. Okay, so you can easily do that. Oh, and here's another little way that you can easily do that. Let's just take a white nail and I will show you these different colors and we will wipe some on. Okay, so when you get them, they look like this. They come in a box. Inside this precious box, like really the Favori packaging is so beautiful. It's gorgeous. I'm going to move the box out of the way though. It's just minimal, chic, beautiful. Right now, my biggest thing that I tell everybody with inks is as soon as you use it, you've got to put the cap back on. And if you have some place to keep them so that they're not falling over, all the better, okay? I'm going to clean this up a little bit because sometimes the camera doesn't like all these things out when we're doing some nail art, right? So here they are. Let's go through the colors really quickly. So the first one, when you turn it over, you'll see the name on the back is Mystic Beige. You're going to always shake your inks. Sometimes you will see like a little bit of white residue down the bottom. If it's one of the pearl collections, you'll see pearl down the bottom. You want to shake. And you do not need a ton. I'll show you what mine are sitting in right now. Okay. You just don't want to spill them because all of the liquid will come out immediately. See? Easy. There's nothing special done to this surface. Yes, ink tweeds, ink plaids. Very fun. So that's Mystic Beige. This one is Leaf Green. If you guys saw our Made collection live, those are the like texture gels. These would go beautifully with them. We're going to use some Made collection gels to do some art. Here is the green. All right, that's the Leaf Green. See if we can get them all on here somewhere. This next one is really beautiful. It's the third one in. It's like a blue. I'm not sure if it's showing blue for you, but it is like a dusty blue. It's called Dawn Vintage. They're just so fast to just get some color on the nail. That's Dawn Vintage. Let it dry for a second. They dry in seconds, okay? This isn't something you have to wait for. This next one is a beautiful mauve. And this one's called Candid Rose. Candid. I might be pronouncing that wrong. I apologize if I am. But look at that. Look at that rose pink. Isn't that pretty? It's dry. Again, I have the habit of, I always put them back in, I put the lids right back on. I screw them right back on as soon as I remove it from the nail, because I just don't want to spill them. So this next one is this gorgeous purple. I mean, how pretty are the bottles too? All right, this is Vintage Lavender. I just love the Favori. I love inks. And all inks are different, guys. Every single ink is different. Look at that. Just doing a little colorful nail here. But the Favori are just so easy to use. Shake, shake, shake. Always shake, shake, shake. The next one is Urban Carmine. Actually, I don't think these are in perfect order, but that's okay. There are 8. This is like a gray, but it almost has a touch of purple. Okay. Just so you guys can see the colors, because you can buy the entire set, but lots of times on Sweetie Nail Supply, they allow you to buy individual colors, which is so nice. All right, this next one, look at this unique color. This is Nut Brown, and it's definitely got a reddish tone to it. It's almost like a maroon. That is Nut Brown. And then the last one is, and you see, I don't know if you can see the white at the bottom? That just means I'm going to shake it up. They shake up very, very easily. All right. This one is Soy Latte. Oh, I like that name. Oh, I love a good brown too. Who doesn't love a good brown, especially in November? Let's put Soy Latte down here too. I don't know why. I'm just going to wipe this right off the nail, but see what I mean? There's all the colors on that one nail. So what I want you to think about is if you're using these inks, there's a couple different ways you can use them. You can layer them. You can use them on a wiped inhibition surface. You could use them on a matte surface. You want to play around and see what the feel you want is. They do not move with isopropyl alcohol, okay? So they can move with acetone, but what I suggest you use if you're going to blend something out is their clear blending fluid. Most inks come with a clear blending fluid if for blending, and it is not straight acetone, and they do a really good job of blending inks for us. Like, so this sweet little thing, just with some stickers for the holidays. You would take your pinkish or you take your red. You can do the dark red if you wanted to, which is the nut brown actually. All right, and this is one coat of Vala's Solid 100 series white. Okay, which dries without an inhibition layer anyway. And let's just make a spot. Okay, see it's faint. It's in some areas, it's darker in others. Perfect for a sticker. Let's do the green. Very vintage, this collection. This collection's very vintage looking. The colors. Let's do one here. Since we have this nail all colored up already. And I'm just circling it around, guys. Just letting the ink do its thing. Don't worry too much about it. Inks are meant to move and flow. And if you don't mess with them too much, I bet you're going to like the results. You do not need to manipulate them like crazy. Okay? This would be ready for your stickers easily. Here. Don't forget, you can find all these Blanc Blanc stickers like these. I'm not drawing a moon, guys. I love hand painting, etc. But I'm not going to draw a moon with a little tiny star in it. Like, no way. To chrome, it'd take me way too long. So, stick a sticker on it. Okay? These are awesome because they're like super bendy, super easy, super flexible. They're not going to rip. That is definitely a pet peeve of mine, ripping stickers. And I've done it, trust me. All right. Oops. That is like, hold on. I had that curl up on me a little bit. Because I pulled it off that way, but let's just try it. Okay. Let's put our little moon on there. There we go. All right. Press that in. Hold on. Where's my little presser? I'm going to use my hand for fast purposes. All right. Top coat and call it a day, guys. Okay. That's it. It instantly gets color on the nail. So that's one way that you can use inks. To instantly add color without having to cure it, without having to wait for it to dry. Very, 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 very quick. Very, very easy. Okay, let's do like a quick color wash too. Or even the abstract. Let's do a color wash first. Okay, so this nail is matte. We can use any matte that you want for this kind of thing. I want to show you, I'm shaking again. If they've been sitting for a while, shake, shake, shake. All right. And let us just do some soft color up the nail. All right. See what it's doing? It's sinking into that matte. The only time you don't ever want to play around with matte and inks is if you're using metallic inks. Okay, you're not going to like that look. It'll take all the metallic right out of your ink. So don't use matte if you're doing metallics. Let's use this, which is the vintage lavender. This is giving a really soft look, but it is very, very watercolor-ish, right? Do not worry if you overlap. It actually looks great if you do. Okay. Let it do its thing. All right, and when we top coat this, it's going to come out all the more. It's cool to overlap your inks. Definitely play around with that. You'll like it. I promise. You'll like the results. All right, so we're just layering some colors on here in like a slight angular way. Okay. See, and I'm just wiping them, guys. I'm not manipulating it. I'm not doing anything to it except for wiping them on. Let's do some other colors. Let's do that grayish blue. I know this is not coming out the right color on here, but it is. It's like a dusty, vintage, grayish blue. All right. Just going over top. As soon as it's dry, if you want to add more, go ahead and do it. If you want it darker, just add another bit of color. All right. Let's get some more colors on here. We could do all of them, really. The green. And then when we put when you're doing something like this, you're going to want to add a really pretty high gloss top. Okay. That's going to bring out all these little lines that you can hardly see on camera. Okay, let's do brown. Darker, maybe some dark over here to even it out. I'm going to show you what you can do with the clear blender if you wanted to get rid of some of that dark. All right, so don't judge my clear blender though, because be better than me, you guys. Where is it? Here it is. It's not supposed to look like this, so maybe I'll keep the bottle out of sight. It's clear. Mine is not. Because I don't always, you should tap it onto a lint-free wipe. All right, so let's say we want this softer. We're going to use the clear blender to soften up these edges a little bit. That's all we're going to do. Okay, tap, 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 tap. And you see now, we don't have that line. All right, it's a softer blend. Right? Can move some of this away if we want. Wipe, wipe, wipe. Put that back. By the time I put the cap back on, it is dry. And then we'll put a top coat on it, and you will see actually all the soft vintage colors. If you wanted more color, go back and add again. You can even layer color by putting a base on and then going and doing more layers, etc. So it's up to you how you want to build it up. Okay? Here we go. Here we go. When you put this on, you're going to see the subtle nuances more. Okay, it's going to pull out those veins for you. Okay, so glossy with inks. If you're doing this kind of look, there's really no rules or regulations. You can use them however you want. I probably tend to put a glossy top over my inks 90% of the time. But it's up to you guys. Right? Very, very soft. Right? This is a soft, lush, antique looking collection. If you guys have questions about other collections, by the way, and they've already been out, the odds are we've done a live with them. And Sweeties is in the process of putting all those lives up on YouTube so you guys can go back and look at them easily. I know it's not always easy to go through and look at lives, even though we save them as videos and reels, which I will do with this on this platform. So they're going to go save them over there so you can stop it, so you can work with me, etc. So that's really cool. All right, so let's get a little funkier, right? Let's say you want to do one that's kind of like this. Okay. Honestly, what I'm going to start with on this one, because I have these clear nail blanks, is a really quick, easy cheat to get some white down, but not in a perfect way. So let me grab that white. That way I can tell you the number that's on that violet too. Okay. It is 66. Vala Solid 100 are really, really, really great, guys. Really great. And all I'm going to do is put some here. I'm going to take it across. Maybe do some here. Okay. Kind of like that. I'm not going to cure it though. I just want some areas to be sheer, or if it was like your naked nail, and some areas to be white. So I'm going to leave this as it is, and then I'm going to take a brush and I am just going to dab a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on it. Okay. You could use an application brush, etc. I move those to put another light up, but I don't know that that's working. And I'm softening this out, so it's going to be a little bit more marbly. Marbly, if that's a word. Just using a little isopropyl alcohol before I cure this. All right. To give it some areas of lighter white, some areas of darker white, some are just nude. Okay. But this is going to give us an interesting background for the inks. But this is not textured. It's just some white gel. Okay. Now I'm going to cure it for 60 seconds. All right. So in this one, I can tell that I use the purple, I use the beige, and I use that darker carmine looking color. So let's just go to town. And then we'll mess around with some of the textured ones too. If you ever have questions, like I said, I'm Inspo by Nails on here, Lauren. I am happy to answer your questions. So you can always feel free to DM me and I will point you in the right direction. Okay? Not a problem. Here's another example, and that's using some of the Favori Made gels, some of the metallic nuance, right? So the sky's the limit, guys. We'll do something like this too. I tend to work on nuance nails on shorter nails, but this is, I would say that's kind of nuance, and it is an almond shape, so you can definitely do it. Sometimes I do hear people saying, oh, I'm having trouble with it. And sometimes they're using like super long nails. It's kind of a shorter nail look, to be honest. All right, so this is ready to go because it dries without a sticky inhibition layer. All right, so let's get some of this one. This is the first one again. I love a good like beige, right? It's a good earthy color. So we are going to put some of that on here. And let it do its thing. All right, because we are going to layer inks with this one. All right. I am not being particular. I'm not swiping a certain way. I'm just dabbing some on. We're going to go in with the vintage lavender. Yep. Wow, I got a name right. And we're going over top some areas. All right. Letting it do its thing. All right, it already looks interesting, right? Just because of that white in the back. All right, and let's do this carmine color. I'm going to show you a different way. See how fast they are, though? Really? They are. They're really fast. So put all that time work into your prep, knowing that you can grab some inks for the art. Right? Simple, simple. Let me take this up over here too. Dab, dab, dab. All right, and if you have other lines of the Favori, add your silver, add your gold, add whatever you want. You don't have to just use the colors, you know, that you purchased in a collection together. Do whatever you want. Sky's the limit, guys. Go for it. Okay, let me soften up this area. And I'm not doing it with a blender this time. Just going in with another ink. Okay, I went back in with that vintage brown beige. Okay. Look. It's cool, right? All right, wiping that because I did get some purple ink on it. I closed my bottle and it is dry. Let's put the top coat on. This is all one layer, okay? If you want to build up other layers, seal what you did and then go back and do it again. But let's build some layers with some of the Made gels, okay? Because that's instantly going to do that for you. But look, that's just dabbing colors on there with that funky white thing, which, you know, did not look good on its own, but what it creates is different layers of opacity for these inks, right? Hello. Simple, simple. Trying to keep it really simple. How many people already have Favori inks? I grab them all the time. Guys, like they're right at my right-hand side. That's how much I love them. And do not put your inks away, out of sight, out of mind. I want them on your table. I want them next to you so that you remember them and you can play with them, right? Oh, another thing. This is a quickie. You know, we're loving cat eyes right now, right? Don't forget about inks with cat eyes, okay? So cat eye looks beautiful. There's so many beautiful cat eyes out there. I think I put up a reel the other day of a blue cat eye and I just swiped it with some white. That's it. When you turn the nail, it looks super cool because of the ink. Do you see? See what it does? All right, it's another way to add dimensions to that cat eye. Another way to add layers and intrigue. It's so, so, so simple. You could go in and do like a little bit of a softening here. You could go in with other colors here. You could go in with other Favori if you want to. I'm just saying, don't forget, they look cool on the cat eye. And then when you put on the no wipe and you turn the nail, you not only have the flash of the cat eye, but you have the ink playing around with that too, which is pretty cool. All right. Just swiping some on in like a swirly pattern. That's like all I'm doing, guys. Nothing tricky. See that? If you're on there getting some of the Favori inks, another thing that you absolutely have to have, and I hope it's in stock, but it is like my favorite white. This is Favori's Classic White. It is really, 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 really good. I use it all the time because it's great. So here, let's just do this real quick. Everybody needs a white ink. I think that's what my reel said. I don't care if you don't love inks, you need a white one. You need at least a white one. Because, do you see how soft that is? All right. So soft. Such a good ink. And then, here, let's use the blender really quick. Where'd I put it? There it is. Like I said, when you get this one, it's clear. I'm going to embarrassingly show you what mine looks like because it's not clear anymore. It's not supposed to look like that. Okay. I think I've used brown way too many and I thought my brush was clean, but when I put it back in there, yeah. With the blender, I'm going to remove some of this. Okay. By dragging it, I'm removing some of it. Okay, see what we did there? So it's lighter. And you can be as fussy, you can be as fussy with this as you want or don't. I see I have something right here which would drive me nuts. So I gotta move it. But let's do a really quick, let me do one more thing of brown. And let's put a top coat on this and you'll be like, wait a minute. It's actually very cool and it's very, very easy to do. Maybe I should remove some of this real quick. Hold on. And then we'll do a textured one too. With some of the Made gels. This is the blender. Right, it's just softening it a little bit. See? It's not removing all of it. I'm just softening it up. So we have something cool going on this cat eye, okay? Just another little easy thing that you can do if you want to add a little something, something, okay? Wait, here's this one. Look how pretty that came out. Pretty. I'm telling you right now, these inks do not disappoint. None of the Favori inks disappoint. They're all incredible to work with, and they're incredibly easy to work with. Remember, these are water inks. They are not alcohol inks. You do not need acetone to move them, really. You use that blender fluid. Okay. Let's do this softer a little bit. All right. So it has like a little vein in it. And it's dry. Let's put a top coat on. And then let's get into some lumpy bumpy ones. First of all, did I use a sheer one for that? I did, didn't I? I need another clear tip. Or now I can put it right over top of that. Let's put a no wipe on here. I just want to no wipe to show you guys what this does. Just adds a little bit to the nail in different angles. And it's kind of hidden due to the cat eye nature anyway. But if it shifts, you will see like what you did with that little crack there. All right. And let's let it cure. I think that's nice and even. Oh, nope, missed it at the top. Hold on. We don't want to let it cure without a nice even top coat. Alrighty. All right, let's get busy with some of this textured stuff. So if you're looking at something like this, or like this, even this, I'm using Made gels, okay, from the Favori. When you get Made gels, they come like this. There's nothing to pull off because these gels are not going anywhere. Okay, there are quite a few collections of these too. This is Made Gel version 4. This is Leaf Beige. It's a bonus one that you get with that collection. I also use Mushroom White often, the regular white. And let me show you what I mean. First of all, you guys, I feel like we did plaids with other Favori inks. So let me quickly show you just a nuanced look with these. And then if you guys want me to do the plaid, I'll do it, okay? I am just going to scoop some of this up with a silicone tool. You can use a brush. You don't have to use a silicone tool, all right? But I'm just scooping some up, and I'm putting it on the nail. I want it kind of messy. You can do textured. You can have some areas not. All right, you want to think about this before you cure it. I usually do not keep it right up by the cuticles or the sidewalls because we are going to have to overlay this. We don't want it bulky over there. All right, so there is some texture on the nail. You see that? But it's creamy, guys. Very easy to do. It's like a little bit of plaster on there. All right, so we're going to cure this. I'm going to move My silicone tool over here. Hold on. I'm going to cure this for 60 seconds. We really only take like 30 because honestly, it does not, they cure very, very, very quickly. And then we're going to take some colors and put that in there. And then we're going to take more and more gel and do another layer. So if you build up thin layers, it's going to give you more depth in your nuance. You can also use the metallic nuance colors, and you can also use like this antique beige, which I find to be very gold, but it's just like the Made gel really. And then they have some, hold on one second. Here's like bronze. This is a metallic nuance. All right, and it is there. That's kind of more like it. It's like a really light coppery bronze. It's so pretty. I'll show you what I mean. And you can even go over the ink. You can go over with inks with that too, okay? So let me show you. Shaking up an ink. We're going to do a pink. Oh. All right. Let's put some of this right here. Do you see what it's doing? It's grabbing that texture. All right. It's going to go in the cracks. That's what we want. All right. It's exactly what we want. Let it do its thing. All right. This one is soy latte. Let me fix these because that looks terrible. There we go. Soy latte. Let's just do a little soy latte right here. Get in there, soy latte. We want some dark. Let it go over top. See, layering these inks is going to give us more colors. It's very, very, very fun, very cool. All right, I'm gonna put that there. See, one we haven't really used that much. Nut brown. Let's go with nut brown. Again, guys, this is right over top this Made gel. So all those cracks and crevices that we made, these inks are playing with that, which is what we want. Okay. Can also have it on the side, but it's going to be softer on the side because we don't have that Made gel there. Okay. Do a different color. I love this little silicone. I'll show you really quick. It has X's, so it holds them all secure, so they're not going to go flying around my table and I'm not going to lose any. If you need the link for that, let me know. I believe, though, that Sweetie does have a Favori ink tray. I just don't have it. I think there's a container that you can get. Okay. Very cool. Okay. Now, for this one, we are just going to go in with some of this. Okay, this is the antique gold. 1 second, let me get out lint-free wipe. I'm just wiping my Made gel off. All right, that's all I'm doing. And I want to take the tiniest bit of this. You can use a brush, guys. You don't have to use a silicone tool. I'll show you the difference. And some areas I want it to be gold. So I'm going to rub that in there. See? And that's also holding the texture. Let me show you the difference between that and the Favori Bronze, which is a thicker nuanced gel. Okay, this is a little bit thicker. Let me get some on there so you can really see. Let's not be stingy, which I usually am. All right, so let's put this over here. Now you can see the difference between that bronze, you see, and that is that antique beige. Let's put some up here. I mean, you guys can stipple this in there. Do you see that? Now it's got metal going on. All right. You can drag it. You can use a brush for it. Whatever you guys want. These are such versatile gels. It's nuts. You can put white on there. Whatever you like. Okay? There are lots of examples of nuanced gels where I'm going to cure this because of those gels. You never need to cure the inks. They dry on their own. They dry very, very, very quickly. Or we can even add some of the mushroom white if you wanted to add pieces of white back in. Let me do that with a brush so I can show you. Why did I move those? Because I put up another light for you guys, though I don't think it worked. Hold on. Here we go. I just wanted to get my Sweetie Nail Supply check brush. Perfect for plaids. Although we don't need that for the plaid that we're going to do. Okay, so let's go in with the white. This is like the mushroom white. This is not white. That's a different one. The Made gels, you cannot get these individually. You do need to buy these in the sets that they come in. But they are worth their weight in gold. They are so great. We just did a Made live last week, the week before. I don't know. It's saved. Saved, guys. It's saved on my wall, Sweetie's wall. The reason I have them on mine is if you have questions, I get dinged so I can see that. Okay? Let me cure this and I can answer you. All right? Cure, cure, cure. And then overlay it. Okay? That's all we're going to do. All right? Because you do have to protect the inks. Do not need to protect these. These are no wipe. But since we used all those inks, you do need something on top of there. So I suggest you get a thicker top coat and just do an overlay. I can use this enamel top. Lots of times I use a pot for that. Okay. And here we go. Because we do need to get the inks covered, and do a thin layer this way, and then I'll go in with the, you can leave it nuanced, you can leave it lumpy bumpy if you want to. You can burnish your top coat in like this, okay? Or you could do a full overlay. Just make sure that the inks have been covered with a no wipe top or whatever top you prefer, okay? They do not move. They do not move when you're putting top coat on them, which is really, really awesome. Because if you do some, these are really loosey-goosey, but if you did some detailed work, you really don't want to move your inks when you're rubbing, a top coat in there. And it's totally up to you if you want to leave it lumpy or you want to leave it fully overlaid for a nice smooth nail. I mean, we all know that 3D nail art is not going anywhere anytime soon, so it's totally up to you and your decision of what kind of look you prefer. Okay, let me cure this. Usually I go a little nuts because of the line of light, etc., but you guys, your call. All right, so to get this plaid done a little bit quickly, what I want to say is grab your favorite Made gel, okay, and an application brush, and let me see if I can find a clear tip. Here we go. Let's hope this is on here. I find when you're using inks on a plaid All right, I'm pulling up the mushroom white, which is basically an off-white. Okay, it's not white. I'll show you the white. It's bright. It's like white, you know? It's kind of cool not to have a hair in your gel. That's not cool. Hold on. To have a grid. This is a thicker gel. You can see if the harder I press down, the more you're going to have ridges in your nail. Okay? I don't really want it that gritty. But because we're going down vertically in stripes with inks, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a guide for the inks to fall into those lines, right? Because that's what they're going to do, just like I showed you in that rougher example. Okay. So I usually start with something like that for my ink plaids. Let me wipe this over here. And we'll just do a few lines really quick. All right. Move this out of the way. Getting crowded. I'm going to cure this, okay? About 30 seconds. Here's our funky out of the nail lamp. All right, we want to make some lines. Guys, again, this is not a precise thing. I went back in because I felt like this nail needed a little bit more, and I added chrome gold to it. All right, but initially, I'm just swiping with the brown, swiping across with the brown, swiping with the purple, swiping across with the purple. They don't need to follow a pattern. You can add different colors. It does not need to be perfect. And they kind of look better if they're not, which is probably why that one needed some gold lines, because it was looking too, like I worried about it a little bit too much. All right, so we're going down. We're going over it again. See? Okay. See how the ink grabs the lines that are already on the nail, which is great. Let's do it over here. You can do it lighter. You don't have to have them all match, right? We're going to go over with other colors anyway. And that's going to mess up your lines, which is kind of what you want, to be honest with you. You don't want to have to worry about that. All right, so let's do another color. Let's do green. I mean, that kind of looks fun by itself. Right? Here's something else that's cool, though. You know, I matted that nail after I did it, and I used a matte top coat that I knew would not grab excess chrome, so that's why I put those chrome details on there. I'm going to use this vintage lavender. I like that purple. It's really a pretty purple, isn't it? Yeah. Again, guys, doesn't have to be perfect, just dragging down. I just want some purple on here. It doesn't matter if the line's perfect. All right? See, look. Got a lot going on here already. That would be cute if we top coated that. Right? And it's dry. So dry. I don't believe so, Sherry. I think I'm seeing everything in shot. Is anybody else not seeing what I'm doing? Let me know. All right, ready? You can go across. Oh, and got some down the bottom there. It's okay. We just want it to look a little plaid. Okay. We're going to cure that by going over with something else. All right. I mean, I had a little too much on there. That's all right. Still looks like a nice, easy plaid. And look, this beats the heck out of hand painting with, what do you call it? With gels, right? All right, we're going to go across with green. Just keep layering it up. Today's reel, I was out of frame. I felt bad about that. There was a piece of it. I was like over here, like, hey. It happens, guys. It happens. All right, so just move the nail sideways. If you're having trouble with this part, just move the nail sideways, okay? And you just keep layering it, guys. Just go back and do it again, do it again, do it again. It's fine. Until you have it the way you want it, and it's done. You can top coat it and call it a day. You can go over with white. White's also going to soften some areas, okay? So let's go over here. All right. See what I mean? You can fix things by just not paying too close attention, honestly, to the blurbs. Don't worry about it. Oh, I ran out of ink. See how quickly they dry? Let it do its thing. Don't worry about it. Let's soften some of this up with white. Right, honestly, something should be up here. This is again why I say I love the white, because, watch. Let's give my white a proper place. So just keep dragging with those colors. If you have other Favori colors, go ahead and throw them in the mix, okay? These collections are beautifully curated, honestly, but it's not the only thing you have to use, okay? You can use your other colors. See? Mm-hmm. I mean, that is real country kitchen right there. Right? Now, let's say you wanted to go in and do, like, let's just call this one good. Let's say you did want to go in and do some detailing. I do want to show you that because it was so easy, and I'll show you why. First of all, I'm going to use May Mode Matte. All right, it's this one that is clear. You can use May Mode Matte. You can use Divock Matte. You can use Yummy Matte from Yogo Mayo. You can use MD Gels Matte. It used to be that you could not find a matte top coat that was formulated for chrome. I mean, they said they were, but they were not. Now, yes, you can. And you can find them at Sweetie Nail Supply. As a matter of fact, I think we had a question the other day about that. Okay, I'm going to cure this. This is the matte top coat. And I want to show you a little, the tiniest pot that I have been finding makes the most precise little lines for teeny tiny gold details like that. All right. MD Gel Shadow White. Okay. Get a long liner. We are going to wipe this matte top coat. We're going to scrub the inhibition layer off of it. Oh, I forgot to show you guys a flaky one, but we're almost at an hour, so I don't want to go over that. It's too long. Does anyone have any questions at all while that's curing? I'm hoping there's not questions because you guys don't have any. Not because you're too scared to ask, or like I hope you feel like you can. All right, so let's wipe this off. And here's a little tiny tip about detail chroming, okay? We're going to use a fine point because I'm just going to do the tiniest line across and down. I moved that other one, so okay, let me just use this. All you need is the tiniest amount of this shadow white. I am going to drag it on the side here just so I can load up this long brush, because when you're using a long brush, it's going to be a little easier to drag our lines out. All right, but anyway, look at how very little you need. Okay, let's do one here. The only time I'm not chatty. All right. Let's do maybe one through the white area because it's looking kind of thick. Okay. It doesn't have to be in the center, guys. Just want to, and if you run out of gel, I'll show you what you do. You're not going to start up top again. We're going to start like above where I stopped. Okay, like here. So we can re-drag that out a little bit, okay? You can fix it up however you want. If you need to remove some, you can. We're going to do a 30-second cure. 30 seconds because, I mean, I used so little gel, it's ridiculous. If you're globbing that shadow white on, you're going to need to cure it for longer. But with something this tiny, nah, okay? Just 30 seconds. When you are chroming something on these no wipe mats, okay, I think sometimes people think that it's grabbing, but it's actually not. Hold on. I'll show you what I mean. We're going to be generous with this. And you're right. Oh, no, there's chrome all over there. Oh, no, there's chrome all over it. No, it's not. What you want to do after you've really gotten this into these lines, all right, is take a sponge, a clean one, okay? Whether you're using the foam wedges, whether you're using a clean side of an applicator, wipe it away. There's no chrome on there now, okay? Wipe it away, all right? That's what you want to do. All right? Now you have these perfect little chrome lines. We're going to go on the other side. We're going to at least do one across the center. But that's the tip, guys. All right? It's not that it's tricky. It's just you got to have the right things to remove it, right? And then, I don't know where we should do it. Whatever. You do want to be sure when you're playing with this kind of thing that you do make sure you clean up your edges. You don't want it to stop where your brush stops. Sometimes it's a little bit not the right spot. So go make sure before you chrome it that you're finishing that up. Here, let's do one more. Finished edges, right? Let's always start this one here. Break up that big brown. Wherever you want though, guys. No right or wrong. Okay. I'm going to go back and fix this up a little bit because I was not paying attention. Always good to do it thin and then you can thicken it up if you need to, right? All right. Good enough for these purposes. All right, 30 seconds, and we're going to do the chrome trick again. But man, what a lifesaver those are too. Let me show you your options again real quick. So you have the May Mode matte. You have this Yummy matte that was sold out. Might be back soon. I don't know. These are all the things that you need to put on your holiday shopping list, okay? Here is the MD gel one. Okay. Here is the Zero Matte. Take a picture if you need to. Here's the Zero Matte. Does that make sense? You could use all of these as a matte top coat for chrome details, okay? I might even be missing some, really. They have all the options for you. So if one's sold out, go ahead and pick up one of the other ones. But, Oh, I have to test the new one that hit the website, the Vala one. Lots of these are formulated for colored pencil too. So if you like doing colored pencil and doodle drawings, you're going to want like Yummy or you're going to want May Mode. They're formulated for that. And you can use any colored pencils you have in your house, okay? They don't need to be fancy, okay? They're great. Oh, shoot. I forgot we got to chrome this. Okay, hold on. Guys, I went over the hour. Lauren. All right, get that gold on there. By the way, this is Diami gold. All right. It is a full pot. Oh, I just laid it in some gel. That was not bright. Hold on. Witching hour. All right. Then again, clean applicator. Not this. That's not going to work for you, okay? But you could use a sponge. All right. And that gets all that off there for you. Okay. So all we have to do is top coat this one. But we quickly made a plaid with the inks. And now let's top coat and that's it. All right, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to save this. I'm going to save it to my wall and Sweetie Nail Supply's wall. If you have any questions, let us know. And eventually we'll pop it over on Sweetie Nail Supply's YouTube channel so you can look through it and pause and take your time, okay? But if you have any questions for me, just let me know. I am happy to help. All right. Oh, so fall looking. This collection is so perfect for fall. It's such like a vintage fall look. So yeah, I probably would have put some more horizontal lines on there, but you guys get the picture. All right, I am going to save this and I will talk to you super soon. And thanks for popping on with us. You guys have a great rest of the week.